going on, people? We are Tottenham TV. Happy boys in the studio today. 3-0 win against Everton, the first team to go and take 3 points at the Hill Dickinson Stadium. And Thomas Frank is cooking, mate. Thomas Frank is absolutely cooking. And, we'll get into it because we're going to get into the post-match stuff a bit later on in the stream. We do have a Tottenham update to bring to you today as well, which I guess we're going to start off with. So let's get into the Tottenham update straight away, and we're going to start off talking about Dominic Solanke because it's quite an interesting update from the Football Insider. Take of it what you will, but they say that Tottenham Hotspur boss Thomas Frank is not impressed with Dominic Solanke and could look to sell him in January. Word from Spurs training ground is that Frank isn't too keen on the £60 million centre forward. Ideally, Spurs would look to bring in a new striker once the window reopens, but January is always a notoriously tough time to get deals done. So they're already planting the tough January transfer window seed into our minds. But regarding the Dom Solanke thing, I just don't believe this. I just can't believe this is true because Frank's bet hasn't even seen him.
That is bollocks. It's absolute bollocks. He hasn't played. He hasn't even been training. He's been injured this whole time. Unless he's not keen on how he's been recovering from an ankle injury, unless he's been questioning his... I don't know what he'd be questioning. His... kind of attitude when trying to get back fit. What could he possibly not be impressed with? He hasn't trained. We've seen him for half an hour in the first game of the season. Mm-hmm. We saw him one game in pre-season. Other than that, we haven't seen him. So this is utter rubbish. That's all I got.
If he's going to be not impressed with anyone, surely it's going to be Richarlison. You know what I mean? Because Richarlison just ain't performing well right now. Like, Solanke needs to be given a chance.
I think Frank's the kind of guy not to make quick judgments on anyone. And I think he's the kind of guy to give everyone a chance. And I think he's not going to make a decision on anyone after 9 games.
Yeah.
And especially when he's admitted himself, we've got a lot to work on in the attacking kind of patterns of play and, how we're approaching games offensively. We've got a lot of work to do. So this is crap. This is bollocks reporting. Anyone who believes it is... needs to get their brain checked. It's not reliable reporting at all. If you actually think Frank has looked at Solanke recovering from an injury and said, "Yeah, I don't fancy it," I think that's bollocks.
Yeah, I completely agree. I couldn't agree more. Like, if he would have been playing all season, I could get it. Maybe if he had a poor start to the season, but even then, I would still think Frank would want a bigger sample size. But seeing as he has been injured, he hasn't played, he hasn't even seen him in training. There's just nothing to this.
Frank
surely.
Will like him. I think Frank's going to be a fan of him. I think this is utter rubbish. Look, is it possible Frank might want a new striker in January? Yeah, right now I can buy that potentially. But that report saying he's looked at Solanke and he doesn't like him, I think that's bollocks. Yeah,
but I'm saying if Frank does want a striker, one striker would have to leave because we've got 3 on the books, plus Tell, who's he's been playing there as well. Moani's here on a season-long loan deal. Richarlison looks like the one at the bottom of the pecking order. Well, not the pecking order, but the one that probably easier sell for Frank to leave. Mm-hmm. But anyway, we are linked to a striker that we have been linked with in the last couple of weeks as well. Tottenham are tracking Porto's Samu Agahawa, but face stiff competition from Arsenal, Newcastle and Nottingham Forest for the Spain forward. The 21-year-old has already scored 8 goals in 10 games for Porto so far this season, has a release clause of £87 million. However, he can be available for less than that because of Porto's financial constraints.
Is he Agahawa or Almeridian? Is it the same player?
It's the same player.
Same player. I like him a lot. I know he's young. He's very strong. I don't see him happening in January, but maybe in the summer. I wouldn't be surprised if we're interested. I think right now, when I look at him, I think he's a very good player, and I think he's got big potential. Does he offer right now much more than what we have? I don't know, but I think future potential is big, really big with him, and I think he could easily be a regular goal scorer for a really good team. And I really like him. I think he's did very well in Spain, and he's done very well for Porto when he's been there. So I think he could be starting striker for Spain. in the not too distant future.
Yeah, I mean, obviously, you know, sometimes you need to caveat the numbers when you're going from the Portuguese league and coming into the Premier League. We've seen that many a time, obviously, very recently. I know it's early days still, but with Victor Gyökeres, you saw it with Darwin Núñez, you know, how he was smashing out in the Portuguese league, and you thought this guy was a dead cert when he came into the Premier League, and he's obviously left the Premier League now. I've made no secret that I really like Samu. I think he'd be a top player for us. Does he come in and hit the ground running and maybe, you know, provide what we want to see straight away? Who knows? We don't know. But at 21 years of age, this guy has got a massive future ahead of him. I really believe that. And, you know, it was a shock when he did leave Spain, when he did, because it looked like, you know, maybe he could do well at Atletico in the future.
Chelsea agreed to deal, didn't they?
Chelsea agreed to deal with him as well. So, I mean, look, this guy is not going to have any shortage of suitors. So when you're talking about potentially bringing him in January, like, it brings me back to what I said before. We'd need to get one of probably Solanke or Richarlison out, probably, you know, more likely the latter, Richarlison. You know, it's not like when you're trying to buy a player from England, you know, if the price is right in Portugal, they're going to sell. And, you know, it's probably going to take a big offer to bring him over from Porto in January. But if the price is right, they're going to sell. Plus, you know, they are going through a bit of financial constraints as well. So I think there is a possibility. It's probably a bit unlikely, but there is a possibility if we're desperate for him, then we could get him in January. You know, we saw with Pedro Porro as well, didn't we? Like, you know, Lisbon didn't really want to sell, but we offered something that they couldn't refuse, and towards the end of the window, they sanctioned the sale. So I wouldn't. If we really want him, we can get him, is what I'm trying to say.
Yeah, I don't doubt that. I just don't see any of our strikers leaving. So I think they're all going to be here till the end of the season. I'm pretty confident in that.
Yeah, that's probably the more likely scenario. Another forward that we've been linked with is Mason Greenwood. Team Talk, not the most reliable publication, says that Greenwood's remarkable revival at Marseille has ignited a transfer tug-of-war with Tottenham and among several other top European clubs circling the 24-year-old. Obviously, he's doing very well out in France for Marseille, scoring regularly, getting regular assists as well. Barcelona apparently sniffing around for him as well. Do you see any truth in this?
No, I don't. I don't think Tottenham want the PR, to be honest.
Yeah.
He's doing very well, but I think it's just one better left untouched, I would say.
Yeah, you're probably right. You're probably right. Do you think, though, like, whether Tottenham get him or not, regardless, but do you think, like, he will go to, like, a Barcelona or, like, a top club? Because, you know, he's doing very well for Marseille.
Yeah, he won't be at Marseille for too much longer, I reckon. That's the truth.
Yeah.
He is smashing out. So, I don't know.
Yeah, he is. So, yeah, we'll see. We'll see what happens with Mason Greenwood. Is there any chance of him ever getting back into the England squad?
Don't know. I don't know, to be honest.
Yeah. He's definitely got the talent.
Probably not.
He's definitely got the talent for it. But, I mean, with everything that's happened in the past, you know, probably not, I would say.
Yeah, I don't know.
And last but not least, the Bleacher Report reporting that Tottenham and Man City are keeping tabs on Aston Villa defender Ezri Konsa, with the 28-year-old also being tracked by Chelsea, Liverpool and Manchester United over the past 12 months. There is some interest abroad as well, with Italian giants Inter Milan and Napoli also watching the Englishman along with RB Leipzig. So a lot of players, a lot of teams circling around Ezri Konsa at this moment in time. I think he's a top player, Ezri Konsa. Mm-hmm. I think he gets better year on year. Starting centre-back for England now. I just think, like, he probably is the next one at Villa to go to a bigger club. And I think, like, when you're looking at Man City, I think that just makes so much sense. I don't see Spurs probably going to get him, though.
City or Liverpool. I think they both need defenders, and Chelsea. But if he looks at Tottenham, right, I don't think he looks at us and thinks, I'm going to get, you know, a position in the team which I deserve. And he needs to be starting regularly. You know, the main centre-back, and I think he probably looked at Liverpool, City or Chelsea and thinks I could do that. And Tottenham have got Romero and Van de Ven. Even at right-back, you got Porro there as well. So I don't see Konsa come to us. As much as I can see us being interested.
Tottenham fan.
Huh?
He's a Tottenham fan.
Okay, maybe that plays into it, but I think if he's looking for what's best for his career, I don't think Tottenham's the right move.
Yeah.
28? Wow, I didn't realise.
Yeah, I think he's ready now for that, you know, real big step now. He's done very well at Villa, obviously played Champions League football for them, back in Europe again this season in the Europa League, but I feel like he could make a very good home at one of those 3 clubs, well, any of those 4 clubs that are on screen right now: Tottenham, Man City, Chelsea, Liverpool. But you're looking at the frailties that Liverpool and all 3 of them have at the back. But you're looking at Liverpool and Man City, who want to be going for titles very, very soon, this season. So I think Ezri Konsa would go a long way to shoring up their defence.
Yeah, I think it's the right time for him to move to one of those bigger clubs, and I think all 3 of them he could be signing for all of them.
So you're looking at who you could potentially look at: Liverpool signing Guehi and Konsa. And Liverpool need major surgery at centre back. They've got Van Dijk, they've got Konsa. I mean, they've got Konate. Konate, I don't know, for some reason he just hasn't done it this season. He's looked really poor.
Could be out.
He could be out. So that means you're looking at a club like of Liverpool's stature that have spent 400 million this summer, that will only have Van Dijk, aging Van Dijk, with Joe Gomez. I mean, that's ridiculous, isn't it?
Yeah, and they tried to rectify it with Guehi, and it failed on deadline day. But they know they need more players in that position.
So I'd love to see Konsa at Spurs, but I just can't see it, to be honest. I really can't. But that is your Tottenham update for today. Let me know in the comment section below, would you like any of those players that I mentioned to you today? We got a super chat here from